in this video we will discuss about the punctuation. What is the punctuation and why we use the punctuations and where we use the punctuations. So firstly we will discuss about the definition of punctuation. Punctuation is the use of spacing conventional signs which we also called as a punctuational marks, and certain typographical devices which would be our hyphens, dash, semicolon, colons, as a aid to understand and correct reading of the written sentences. So it means that we are putting the punctuations in our written tenses to understand the reader that what we have written in it and what the emotion we have written in these sentences. So there are commonly the 9 punctuation which we use. Firstly is the capital letter and the full stop, second is the commas, third is the question marks, and 4 is the exclamation marks, and 5 is the quotation marks, 6 is the colon, and 7 is the semicolon, and 8 is the apostrophe and dash. So as you know that the capital letter is our first word would be capital, and full stop as a you will see it in that there is a full stop sign and comma sign, question mark sign, exclamation mark sign, quotation mark, and the colon, semicolon, apostrophe. We will discuss what is capital letter and full stop. We use a capital letter in every starting of a sentence. When we start a sentence, we first word of this sentence is should be the capital letter, and it end with the full stop. As you see that there is a full stop. Full stop uses at the end of sentence, and use of capital letter used for nationalities, languages, days of weeks, months of years, public holidays, as well as the geographical places. Now we will discuss some examples of capital letters and full stop. As you see that in first example, we went to France last summer. So we in this sentence, we is the first word, so we capitalize the first word W of the we, and we will put the full stop in the end of the sentence. So this would be how we use a capital letter and full stop. You can see the other examples. The football world cup takes place after every 4 years. Dr. David James is the consultant at the Leeds City Hospital. As you see in the third example, Dr. David James is an word and doctor is an abbreviation, so we can always start it with a capital letter. It is a name, so we can capitalize the whole words, and it is the city hospital, which would be our place, so we will also capitalize that. Can she speaks Japanese? Now in the fourth example, you can see that can she speak the Japanese. Japanese is a language. As we firstly say that we will use the capital letter in our nationalities, languages. So in the language, third example, we will see that Japanese, so Japanese J would be capital, and in this sentence we can ask a question, so we will put a question. Now the second is a commas, where we use the commas. So firstly we discuss that commas is a used to separate a list of similar word or a phrases, which means we use a comma to separate a similar words or a phrases. Where we use a comma do not use before and at the end of a list of single word, which means that comma is not uses before and at the end of a single word. As you see that example, they travel to Murree, Islamabad, Naran, and then to Rawalpindi. There we use the in the middle of the sentences, comma is used but not used in the end and in the start. So before dialogue we use is the comma. As example, you can see Ali said, so we put a comma, and the good morning would be our quote or something, blessing. So third is comma separating the reporting clause, which means that commas is separating the two different clauses. So do not try to do too much, the fitness trainer said, where you begin. So you see that in this sentence, do not try to do too much is the tense which is said by the fitness trainer, and where you begin is also said by the fitness. So we put the commas to before starting a dialogue. Next is the mark of additional information. We use a commas. The girl who is wearing black dress is my best friend. So we will providing in this example that girl who is wearing a black dress is an extra information is my best friend. So he is talking about his best friend. He put the additional information here. We can put the comma. So the girl who is wearing a black dress, so comma, and is the best friend. So third use is commas uses before the conjunctions as but, or, while, and yet. As you see the example that the boy wanted to watch a movie until midnight but they grew tired and fell asleep. Now we put that before a conjunction. So there is a but midnight and but they grew not. The boy wanted to watch a movie until midnight, but so we will put a comma before a conjunction. So the third would be the punctuation would be question mark. So the use in the tenses in which question is asked and interrogative tenses, as you all know that where is Ali, that is a question, so we will put the question mark at the end. Where is the question, there should always be a question mark. You can see some other example. He coming to us today? Does he loves cats? What is this behavior? Is they loving to play cricket? And fourth punctuation is our exclamation mark. Exclamation mark is used in to express our very strong feeling, so that the reader could know that what we feel about that. If we not put the punctuation mark in the sentences, that the reader could not feel what we are feeling at that time by writing that text or sentence. So use of exclamation mark is used at the end of sentences which expresses a very strong feeling, such as help or a good morning. And second would be that it is used after the strong feelings and convey emotions, as well as to indicate the shouting or a high volume. As you see example, wow, oh, gorgeous. And it's always with exclamation mark is always putting when we read some feelings that we will wanted to the reader, that they can feel the way we can read the sentence. So in this example you can, oh, that's a gorgeous dress. So the third use of exclamation mark is if the exclamation point applies to a sentence as a whole, then place it in the every end. So, oh, why are you yelling at me? In this example you can see that they convey some kind of feeling. Oh, why are you yelling at me? So examples would be the yes, I will marry you. What a yummy ice cream. Now fifth punctuation which we discuss is quotation mark. Quotation mark is a single or a double. Also quotation mark becoming more common nowadays. So use of quotation mark when we quote something. So we use a quotation mark. So first example, a trainer said, do not try to do too much when you begin. So it is a trainer's quote, so we can put it in the commas. As we say that we should also place the commas before some would say, so you also put the comma here, and that would be the quotation mark. So the quotation mark uses after comma, introducing a speech, and after a full stop. So third use of comma is before using quotation mark. Do not try to do too much when you begin. So in this sentence you will, the punctuation which we'll discuss is the quotation mark. Quotation mark will be a single or a double. So here we will discuss about the uses of quotation mark. So quotation mark is uses when someone is quote something. As you see the example, trainer said, do not try to do too much when you begin. So it means we also discuss when someone is quoted something, before it we also place a comma. So here we place a comma and then our quotation mark. And you see that in the third use, the most commonly thing, if we put the quotation mark and the comma together, then we must put the comma inside the quotation mark, as you can see. So the fourth use will be the commonly used question mark inside the quotation mark, unless the question is a part of reporting clause. So as you can understand that we must have to put the question mark inside the quotation mark unless when the question is not a part of reporting clause. As they, in this example, they asked, so you can see that why do not they know who is responsible. Firstly they ask a question and then mention that they asked, not he is asked or she is asked, they asked. So we will put the question mark inside that quotation. Use a single quotation mark to draw the attention to a word. We want to know the meaning of that word. As you know that we use a single quotation mark. I am very disappointed by his apology. I do not think he meant it. Use a double quotation mark when we highlighted the word of when we wanted to know the word of a single meaning. As I am very disappointed by his apology, so we will quoted the double quotation mark in which means that we wanted to know the meaning of that word. We use a quotation mark to refer to the title of book, newspaper, magazines, films, songs. As you can see the example, there is a special report all about in the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail would be the news channel or a website, so we can say that the best news channel is the ARY News. So we'll put the double quotation mark. Now we will come towards our sixth punctuation, which would be the colon. Colon is a punctuation mark consisting of two equal sized dot placing one above the other. So uses of colon marks is to join the two separate sentences. As you see that the Lawrence could not speak, he was drunk. Now why could Lawrence could not speak? As he was drunk. So we can, there are two different statements but we can combine it by using a colon. So the second example would be the man proposes, good disposes. So these are also the two different statements but we wanted to combine it, so we use a colon. To start a list of colon uses. Now we make a list of something. As you know, see the example, please purchase the furniture, glassware, ingredients and watch glasses. When we make the list, firstly we use a colon and then we use a different thing, so we use a only the comma, a few furniture, glassware, ingredients and then the watch glass. Next use of colon is the use before the set of books and film subtitles from the main title. Example is the Gandhi 2 the Mahatma Strikes Back. Is Gandhi 2 is the movie name and then the Mahatma and the Strikes Back are its subtitles. So we will use a comma here and then we use there the colon. As we use as we say that the film subtitles from the main titles, as we use a colon there. So the colon separates the dramatic character from a dialogue. Example, Ali, where did you go? No, go now. So Ali and Hassan are two characters. So before the dialogue, before their dialogue, we use a colon. Then the seventh punctuation we have the semicolon. Semicolon is used instead of the full stop to separate the two main clauses. As you see the example, Spanish is spoken throughout the South America. In Brazil, the main language is Portuguese. So here if we see that there are the two different clauses and we use instead of full stop we use a semicolon to combine it. As you see that semicolon not commonly used in the temporary English. Full stops and commas are more common, so we doesn't use the semicolons more in our common texts, also in our common paragraph writings and whatever we will write, we not uses the semicolons as much more as we use the colons, full stops and the question marks and the capital letters. So here is another use of the semicolon. So separate two related sentences where there is no conjunction such as and or but, where using only a comma would be ungrammatically. So you can know that separate the two related sentences where there is no conjunction. When there is no conjunction, so here we use a comma is ungrammatically, so we use a, when we not uses a comma, so we use a semicolon. She is a good writer, she has published several books. As there is not a full stop there, so we use a semicolon there. Let's go to the library, the place where I concentrate on my studies. As they can also provide us the additional information, so we use a semicolon. They are the two clauses, we have to combine that by the semicolon. My daughter is a teacher and my son is a doctor. A man who is a mother or a father who is telling us about their daughter and the son, and in a same sentence so he use a semicolon instead of the comma. But we can use a comma in our normal language, and we also use a conjunction here when we write a simple paragraph or something. Come towards our eighth punctuation, which would be the apostrophe. Apostrophe is a punctuation mark in the language that uses the Latin alphabets and some other alphabets. So now we discuss the uses of apostrophes. Apostrophe has the three uses. As to form a possessive nouns, use apostrophe as to show that one person or thing owns a member of something. As I can discuss examples with you, so you can know that use is better. Use an apostrophe, attach s at the end of plural nouns to show the possessiveness. Use the apostrophe to exclude the letters. Example, as they have, we can use as the they have, so we use apostrophe here. So examples would be the Tom's bed. So it is a we will mention a single s, the single apostrophe, which means shows a possessiveness that bat is of the Tom. And Sarah's doll means that is also shows that possessiveness, that the Sarah's doll, that doll would be the only the Sarah's doll. Are not, we use a simple we will use that are and not. We can also written that by we will make our paragraph writing so enhancing, so we use are not in this way and cannot we use in this way. See that he will, we can also write the he will as the in this way. We can also see that in many paragraphs or things which we collect from the Google, which are written by a highly qualified writer, so they can use these kind of the language in their writing paragraphs or the written clauses or sentences. So ninth punctuation we have is a hyphen or a dash. Dashes are more common in formal language. It is used in similar way to the commas or semicolon, both the single or a double dash. As you know that it means that dashes are common in formal language, and we use dash in a similar way. We use a comma or a semicolon. Example is, just wanted to thank you for a lovely evening, we really enjoyed it. We doesn't use dashes in our normal paragraph writing, but we uses dashes when we uses the separate name or used to separate the series of the commas as the students Ali, Alia and Sarah. We doesn't use the dashes because we commonly use a comma in our paragraph texts. So dash is not mostly common in our in paragraph writings or in our writing skills. Comma, semicolon would be the more important. As you see that example, we can use only the dash or apostrophe in that figure that we can use it. It was a 4-digit number. He needs a 2/3 of a votes. When we use some kind of, as you see that, use a dash before an explanation or to mean namely. The man who is handled the man with his hand in the air looks desperate. As you know that you can see that we only uses the dashes commonly in our paragraph writing when we have a digits 2 or figure, when we have a 2 or third, when we have some kind of relation that we can written in this way, that sister-in-law, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, father-in-law. That would be like something which we also uses and know that there would be a dash comes. As we know in the Qaid-e-Azam, before the E we see that there is a dash before it, and so that kind of words we use a dashes only, but we cannot uses a dashes commonly and mostly in our paragraph. I will tell you about in normal texts or writings which punctuation mark we common. We use a capital letter and a full stop. We use a comma. We use a question mark. We use a exclamation mark and the quotation mark, also colon, also semicolon, apostrophe and dash. But mostly we use is a capital letter, comma, question mark, exclamation mark. As you know that capital letter we always start a sentence word with the capital letter and end it with the full stop. So also use a comma where we see that there is a different things are coming, so we use a comma. As you see the start with the full stop, exclamation marks or a question mark, so here we use a comma. And exclamation marks when we tell us about our feelings, so we use a exclamation mark and quotation mark. When we quoted as something that Lama Iqbal said, that my teacher said that, so you use a quotation mark here. We doesn't use commonly the colon or the semicolon. We use apostrophes to make our sentence more enhancing and more appropriate, and dashes are used, as I tell you, that it is used as digit figures, and also uses in the relations as sister-in-law. So thanks for watching my video, and like, share and comment and subscribe my channel Each Topic Information. Thanks.